Dear friends, we know that as humanity, we constantly oscillate between despair and hope, fragmentation and unity, limitation and expansion. In the early decades of the 20th century, when the world reeled under the weight of war, social upheavals, and philosophical pessimism, Sri Aurobindo emerged with a radical vision, one that saw not decay but becoming, not defeat but evolution. His philosophy did not merely offer solace, it infused humanity with supreme optimism, grounded in the evolutionary potential of consciousness itself. Sri Aurobindo's optimism is rooted in evolution, not escape. Classical optimism often manifests as a simplistic belief that things will get better. Sri Aurobindo's optimism was deeper. It was rooted in his vision of evolution as a conscious process, a creative unfolding of life and spirit. For Sri Aurobindo, evolution was not random mechanical progress, but a progress with purpose. It was the journey of consciousness from matter through life and mind, ultimately toward the supramental, the highest truth consciousness. Instead of seeing life as an accident or absurd repetition, he saw it as a divine adventure. This gave rise to a distinct optimism, one not contingent on external conditions but on the inner potential of consciousness to transform and transcend. Sri Aurobindo's optimism is not sentimental hope, it is metaphysical certainty grounded in evolutionary philosophy. In The Life Divine, he writes, Man is a transitional being. He is not final. The step from man to superman is the next approaching achievement in the earth's evolution. This single sentence contains his supreme optimism. Humanity is not a finished product, but a bridge. He further affirms the evolution of consciousness is the central motive of terrestrial existence. Evolution, therefore, is not merely biological, it is spiritual teleology. Unlike modern philosophies that see history as cyclical or absurd, Sri Aurobindo insists on progressive manifestation. A divine life in a divine body is the formula of the ideal that we envisage. For Sri Aurobindo, integral freedom is the core of human flourishing. Sri Aurobindo taught that the highest human possibility is not merely freedom from social constraints, hunger, or suffering, but freedom rooted in consciousness. He distinguished between negative freedom, freedom from limitations, and positive freedom, freedom to actualize the highest potential within. For him, true growth was not just economic or political but supramental transformation, a leap in human consciousness that brings humanity between spirit, mind, and matter. This integral notion of freedom became an anchor of optimism, especially for individuals feeling trapped in their personal struggles. In Sri Aurobindo, we find rejection of nihilism and embrace of purpose. In an age where existentialism and nihilism questioned meaning itself, Sri Aurobindo offered a bold alternative: existence has purpose. He wrote, "The aim of existence is to manifest the divine in the finite." This view restored meaning not by turning away from the world, but by engaging with it deeply, seeing life's challenges as stages in conscious evolution, not as pointless suffering. This perspective does more than uplift. It reframes adversity as a resource for transformation. He transforms suffering into spiritual growth. One of Sri Aurobindo's most profound contributions to optimism was his understanding of suffering. Rather than interpreting suffering as failure or punishment, he saw it as an inevitable aspect of growth, a friction that refines consciousness. Suffering thus became a teacher, a transformer, a catalyst for inner evolution. This philosophical reframing was not escapist. It empowered seekers to face life with courage, resilience, and ultimately joy. Sri Aurobindo does not deny suffering, he transforms its meaning. In the synthesis of yoga, he says, "The soul in man is greater than his fate." And in Savitri, he writes, "A mighty transformation came on her, a halo of the indwelling deity, the immortal's luster that had lit her face and tinted its radiance in her body's house." Most strikingly, he declares, "Pain is the hammer of the gods to break a dead resistance in the mortal's heart." This is evolutionary optimism at its most powerful. Even pain collaborates with growth. In his writings, we find a vision of unity in diversity. Sri Aurobindo's optimism was not individualistic, it was cosmic. He recognized humanity's diversity: cultures, religions, races, languages, but saw in this diversity a greater unity of consciousness. His integral approach did not dissolve differences, it sought to harmonize them. This vision resonates powerfully in a fractured world. It suggests that divisions need not be permanent boundaries, but dynamic expressions of a deeper unity, a unity yet to be fully realized in human consciousness. Sri Aurobindo's optimism culminates in his vision of supramental emergence. In The Life Divine, he writes, "The destiny of the soul is a divine perfection on earth." And in Savitri, he writes, "The spirit shall look out through matter's gaze, and matter shall reveal the spirit's face." This is not escape from earth, but transformation of earth. In The Human Cycle, written during global turmoil, he states, "The present crisis of humanity is the crisis of a great evolutionary transition." Crisis then is not collapse, it is transition. That is supreme optimism. For Sri Aurobindo, optimism was not abstract theory. It was practiced through meditation that centers consciousness, discipline of aspiration and surrender, self reflection that transforms inner resistance into growth, service that sees others as expressions of one's own being. He taught that to grow is also to glow. That is, inner transformation radiates outward. When consciousness evolves inwardly, life becomes luminous, purposeful, and uplifting. The very first line of his great work, The Synthesis of Yoga, reads, all life is yoga. It almost sounds like a mantric declaration. Sri Aurobindo uses this mantra to expand the meaning of yoga beyond formal spiritual practice. For him, yoga is not confined to meditation or renunciation. Life itself is a field of conscious evolution. Sri Aurobindo's optimism is not naive hope. It is profound, reasoned, and experiential conviction that consciousness is the true ground of reality. Evolution is not chaotic but goal oriented, goal directed. Humanity's struggles are stages in a larger creative journey. True freedom and joy lie within the domain of consciousness. This optimism of consciousness offers not just a relief from despair, but a roadmap to grow and glow, to evolve spiritually, psychologically, and culturally. In a world steeped in uncertainty, Sri Aurobindo's message remains radiant, timeless, and urgently needed. Humanity is not going nowhere, it is becoming more than it has ever been. Sri Aurobindo does not preach passive hope, he reveals ontological uh, confidence. Consciousness evolves, humanity is transitional, suffering refines, crisis prepares, the divine intends fulfillment. His optimism rests not on emotional reassurance but metaphysical inevitability, and therefore, to grow is to collaborate with evolution. To glow is to manifest the supramental light already pressing to be born. Thank you.